Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. My name is Brandon Lilly, and today I want to talk to you about how to bring your business into the digital age and grow your brand. Now, there's some different statistics out there that say that there's still a considerable amount of businesses that don't really have a digital presence, and they're lacking in that area. Now, if that applies to you, then congratulations, we're going to talk about it. If that doesn't apply to you, you already have a presence, then a lot of what we're going to talk about here will also apply towards growing your presence online and in the digital world. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to cover here. So specifically, you can follow along with this presentation at m360.us/8cb6. A bit of a mouthful, m360.us/8cb6. So let's jump right in here. Specifically, we're going to talk about 8 different ways that you can build your digital presence. I've got a quote in here that I particularly enjoy from Michael Hyatt. He says, marketing is really just about sharing your passion. And that's something I get the opportunity to do here every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I get to talk about my passions. And I've lived in the marketing world for a while, and it's very exciting to me to be able to talk to you about it. Now, on that note, this is something that you can take away as a small business owner when you're thinking about developing and building your own marketing plan, either growing in the digital world or even just kind of introducing your business to it. Marketing is really just about sharing your passion. We can talk all day about different tips and tricks and strategies and different ways that you can grow your business and different ways that you can take advantage of all of the opportunities that the digital world offers. But really, at the end of the day, marketing is about sharing your passion. If you are passionate about your product, you're passionate about your service, you love your company, that's going to come through in your marketing. Don't be afraid to let your marketing be personal. Your brand is personal to you. Your company is personal to you, especially as a small business owner or as an entrepreneur. So keep that in mind. Share your passion. Let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to move on to the next slide here and specifically talk about step number 1, which is develop a conversion-based website. Now, this is incredibly important. I've got 3 examples here, and as you can see, we've got 2 of them that appear to be pretty good. We've got the one in the middle and the one on the right there. Those are high-quality convertible sites. You can notice on those that you see pretty clearly what they do. They're well designed. They've got great graphics, good eye flow, everything like that. And then we've got the one over in the left-hand corner. This is an actual website. You can go to paradisewithaview.com and check out what their website looks like. If paradisewithaview.com is watching, hello, we'd love to talk to you. There's a difference, though, between what you would consider just a well-designed website or a pretty website and a conversion-based website, a conversion-based design. Now, you can design a website simply for just the joy of designing it. And you'll find this pretty often with people that maybe they have a background in design or they're just an artistic individual, something like that. You generally find that people will lean heavily towards something that they like. They'll lean very heavily towards things that they're familiar with. Now, that's not always a bad thing, but really at the end of the day, does it matter if your website is something that you particularly find aesthetically pleasing? Not really, not at the end of the day. The primary goal of the website is to make sales, drive leads, convert when people come to the site. It's to encourage them or inspire them to take an action that you want. So it's not always about what the design or how pretty the website is or anything like that. One of the major key points is it convertible? And I find that this is a sticking point for small businesses sometimes. Maybe they've built the website or a friend of a family or a neighbor has built the site for them, and there's a little bit of pride of ownership. You got to take that out of the equation here. We're talking about your business. You should have pride in what the website looks like. You should be proud of what the website is doing for your brand and doing for your business. But keep in mind, it doesn't have to be something that you specifically like. You're not in business just to have a pretty website. You're in business to make money and to sell things and sell services. So ensure that your website is convertible. And what I mean by that is that it's clean, it's easy to use, it identifies very quickly, within 2 seconds or less. Somebody can see the website and see exactly what you do and where you're located, especially if you're a service-based business. And there's a clear call to action. And this clear call to action is the action that you want them to take. It's filling out a lead form, it's calling, it's making a purchase, signing up for email, whatever that happens to be. That's what your primary goal is. Now, Obviously, a website has a need to be educational. It has a need to be professional. You need to provide resources for your consumers, all of this stuff. But really, your website is your 24/7 salesman. Keep that in mind. What you would do if you're going to spend time, money, and energy training up a great salesperson to work 8 hours a day, you should consider this a 24-hour salesman who works all the time. So make sure that your brand is reflected effectively and creatively, but really at the end of the day, ensure that it's clear and easy for a consumer to take the action that you want them to take. So let's say we've built a website. That's all been designed out. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You can actually get a free mock-up at marketing360.com. If you go over and look at our UXI Rainmaker sites, we'll do a free mock-up for you. Take a look at that. Might give you some creative ideas, and maybe we'll work together. So you've got a website. Let's move on. Now we're going to talk about the next step. Next step is investing in the marketing. If you just have a beautiful website, you have a billboard in the desert. I'm sure it's very pretty and the landscape is nice, but no one's ever going to see it, right? So consider that. You need to invest in your search engine optimization, SEO, and your pay-per-click PPC advertising. So this is how you drive people to your site in the same way that you would if you've got a local store, or maybe back in the day of billboards and radio and yellow pages ads and things like that. The same way that you would spend time and energy and invest in the marketing to drive people to a location, you have to do the same thing online. This can't be something that is skipped. So SEO and PPC are incredibly important because people buy from people they know when it's convenient. Generally speaking, if somebody is looking for a product or service that you offer online, they intend to research or buy. They're researching, they're comparing, they're buying, whatever that is, they're shopping, work them through that sales funnel. So if you'll notice, we've got a screenshot here, which is talking about the page one paid search and organic search places that you can have on Google. Now, this is what we would refer to as total domination. So on Google, on a desktop, you've got a spot for 4 ads. You can't have more than one, so you may as well have a great one. So you have an ad up there. If you're a local business, you can also have a location in the maps listing, which is very helpful, very fantastic. And then down below that, generally below all the snippets that Google has and anything that's related to their ads or whatnot, that's where you have the organic ranking. Now, as you can see here, this is just a screenshot. This is generally what you can see on a desktop computer. We've got 3 spaces in the available opportunity here. Now, you could say, well, I'm already paying to play. I'm already paying for ads or something like that. Why would I want to invest any time and energy into being in other places? Well, there's a lot of trust here. Obviously, you can see that you are a established business, well-known. You're showing up. Google assumes that you're providing value to consumers and customers, so they're going to rank you, and that provides a little bit of trust to the consumer who maybe is interacting with you the first time. But beyond that, and this is another thing to consider if you are dominating the first page, you're also taking away real estate from your competition. These are 3 places that your competitors no longer can show up in. Even if you're only on one spot, you've taken away just that little bit of competition or opportunity for the competition to show there. If you're in all 3 spots, then you're dominating, and that pushes them out and pushes them down, which is exactly what you want as a business. You're trying to grow your clientele, and if you can keep your competitors from showing up where you are, then it's highly, highly valuable. So investing in your search engine optimization and investing in your pay-per-click advertising are both needed to grow your digital presence. Now, you can bootstrap this yourself. You can learn a little bit about SEO, write high-quality content, blogs, infographics, title tags, meta descriptions for your site, all that. You could learn AdWords. There's plenty of free training tools out there to do that. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's a great way to get started, at least to get an idea. You are going to get to a point where you are going to need to enlist some additional help, and that's where Marketing 360 can come in. We would love to assist you with this. We work with small businesses day in and day out. So marketing360.com/start, and we can get you started there and take a look at what you might need. Now let's move on to the next slide here. Now we're going to talk about retargeting. So you built your website, which is your foundation, your 24-hour salesman. Then you've invested in your search engine optimization, so you're slowly building some ranking and some authority with Google. While you're building that authority, which takes time, by the way, you're paying to play, essentially paying for placements within the top placement ads or the pay-per-click advertising, all highly valuable. Now, that's intent-based search. I intend to find something, so I search for it, and I find it. That doesn't always mean that I am in the mood to buy. Maybe I'm shopping, I'm researching, comparing. Statistically, people will compare between 3 and 5 businesses, products, or services before they decide to work with one. So they're going to compare, and they're going to go to your site, jump off, go to another site, jump off, anything like that. With retargeting, this is where you can start to bring those people back. Now, this also follows the marketing law of 7, which states that a consumer really, on average, they need to see your ad or your brand or logo at least 7 times before they decide that you're trustworthy enough for them to take an action that you want them to take. So by utilizing retargeting, and on average, 97% of people do not convert the first time. And we've got that statistic right here where we're saying that they're researching 3 to 5 brands before they pick one. With retargeting, these are display-based or even sometimes text-based ads that will then follow people around on the internet. Now, if you have visited marketing360.com recently, you'll start to notice Marketing360 branded ads all over the place, different websites that you visit. No one's being creepy. Google just understands that you have been to this site recently, so they understand you're probably still interested in it. And as an agency, we want to stay in front of you. So we utilize retargeting at an agency level, and we use it for all of our customers as well. There is almost never a good reason not to utilize retargeting, because you need to get back in front of people and encourage them to take the action that you want to take. Now, retargeting also takes a little bit of time to build. So you need to have lists of people that come into the site. And this is all handled automatically for you once you've set up the foundation. You don't have to worry about maintaining the lists beyond that. But in order to get started, you need about 100 visitors. So you'll use this in conjunction with your paid advertising to drive people through to your site, and then you utilize retargeting to ensure that they're coming back to your site. One of the other great things about retargeting is that it's generally a significantly lower cost per click or cost per interaction. So you spent the money to drive them to your site. 97% of people are probably not going to convert that first time, so you spend pennies on the dollar to bring them back. Incredibly valuable, not something you can miss out on. Let's move on to our next slide. Now we're going to talk a little bit about reputation, online reputation and review platforms. Now, this is something that we're pretty passionate about. There are review platforms out there that they offer the consumer a considerable amount of control, but they don't really offer the business any control over their reputation whatsoever. And really, the business lives and dies by its reputation, especially its reputation online. And that can be spoiled pretty quickly by some bad apples, either former employees, competitors, clients that were never going to be happy regardless, or customers that were never going to be happy regardless of the product or service you provided them. There's just no control on a lot of platforms. We've found that top-rated local is incredibly valuable. You can sign up for free. There's no costs for it. And this allows you a little bit of control over your reviews. Now, it's also an aggregated system, so it aggregates your reviews from all across the internet and giving you a full ranking, a full picture of where your reviews are at. Now, one of the things that we recommend here is that with all of your customers, immediately after having a transaction or providing them service or something like that, send them an email. Send them an email. And we love to use this one. I've got an example here. How was your experience with us? Was it good? Was it not good? It doesn't really matter if the feedback is great or not great. You need the feedback regardless. If you never accept negative feedback, then you're never going to get better as a business. You're going to slowly lose customers over time because you just don't know how to keep them. You don't know what's going wrong or what they're expecting that you aren't providing. If you've got great feedback and you're not giving your customers a great way to deliver that to you, then you're missing out on a great opportunity. 87% of shoppers will not consider buying from a site without reviews. You have to have them. Now, I get questions all the time. Am I damaging my business, or am I running a risk of opening myself up to bad reviews? Well, yeah, you kind of are, but there's a great way to mitigate that. And that's why we like to use emails that, designed like this with the good or not good symbol on it. If it's good and they click on good, it takes them to a review platform. Could be Facebook, could be Google, could be top rated local, depending on where we're trying to generate or you want more reviews. Send them there. They leave a great review. Awesome. Now, if it's not a good review and they've got some negative feedback to give you and they click on I did not have a good experience, it takes them to a form on your website that then is emailed to you privately. Now, it takes a little bit to set that up, but that's not overly complicated, especially if you're using a UXI site and you're using top-rated local or anything like that, an email system. All it is a form. They get to fill it out. It gives them an opportunity to unload their concerns and their complaints, and it gives you an opportunity to maintain control of the conversation and make it right. If there was something that you as a business or an employee or something dropped the ball on, this is a great way to fix it. And you were able to fix it out of the eye of the public, and you were able to maintain your relationship. Now, afterwards, you can ask them to leave you a good review because they had a better experience, and you've been able to negate the bad review in the first place. It's highly valuable, and I highly recommend that you consider doing this. You need to be open to accepting criticism, negative feedback, positive reviews, because your business is relying on it. This is your reputation, and especially if you're new in the industry, new in the area, or you're going up a lot of competition, you will live and die by your reputation, and reviews are very, very powerful. Like we stated here, 87% of shoppers will not consider buying from a site without reviews. So it's incredibly important that you focus there. You can go, like I said, sign up for Top Rated Local, topratedlocal.com/user/sign-up, or you can just go to topratedlocal.com and just click the button. It's pretty easy. So you can sign up for that. Now let's go on to our next slide. Now this is getting into a little more complicated, simply because generally speaking, it's not a skill set that a lot of people have. Videos build trust. Videos build great content. Videos can be posted on YouTube. Videos are shared. Videos go on Facebook. Very, very valuable. Now, I'm not saying that you have to sit down and buy a fancy microphone. You don't have to buy a great webcam or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. Now, will you get to a point where you should? Sure. You absolutely could. Will you get to a point where you need to hire someone to actually do some video for you? Sure. And what a great problem to have as a business, that you've gotten to a point where you need to bring in some professionals to do some work for you. That's an incredible problem to have, and I hope every one of you gets there. But videos don't always have to be highly professional, highly polished, or developed out like that. They can very easily just be a video that you do on your phone. Turn on your phone, you're ready to go, you do your video, you're all set. If you're out and working landscaping or working a contracting job or something like that, you can very easily do videos and pictures directly from your phone, and they're pretty high quality. A little bit of time and energy in learning how to make a couple of edits, put it up on YouTube, put it on Facebook, and you've got some great opportunity to then put it on your website as well, so you can be a resource. Videos build trust. And by understanding your services or understanding the product that they're purchasing, comprehension builds confidence. People need to understand what you're offering them, and they need to understand that you are a professional. You are an expert. So they've seen your site, they clicked on your ad, they checked your reviews. Now they're going to be looking at, are you actually an expert, or are you just a great marketer? All right, they want to actually make sure you know what you're talking about. So videos are a great way to build some trust. It's very important to have this factor when people are buying and their first interaction with your site, because this feeds into your 24-hour salesman. All right, this is your perfect sales pitch. You can spend as much time as you want developing your perfect sales pitch. You get it recorded, and you never have to think about it again. You nailed it. You get the same message 24/7 across all your channels, wherever you post it, and then you can measure your effectiveness and make changes from there. So video is I highly recommend that you invest in that, but you can start by yourself with your phone, making videos that way, and then eventually your business will grow to a point where you can start looking into professional videos or even upgrading your equipment. Now, let's move to the next slide, and we're going to talk about social media. Now, something that we hear all the time is that my customers don't use social media. That's a lie. Stop telling yourself that. You're missing out on great opportunity. 57% of consumers say that social media influences their shopping habits. I'm going to venture a guess that some of your customers are part of that 57%. 79% of Americans use Facebook. Huge percentage. Again, I'm going to venture a guess that some part of your customers are utilizing Facebook. 80% of users on Instagram follow at least one business, and 50% of U.S. millennials use Pinterest every single month, 63 of which say that Pinterest helps them discover new brands to involve themselves with or new products to buy. To say that there is no reason for social media is a lie. You're lying to yourself. It's not that hard to set up these profiles. Invest some time into it and make this happen. Set up your Facebook business page. That's a bare minimum requirement for businesses in today's market. You have to have a Facebook business page. Not only does it offer you another opportunity to reach people on a channel that they're comfortable with, but it can also influence your organic ranking because now you have another page with your information, posts with your information that can then rank. Google My Business has an incredible influence on your Maps listing. If you're a local business, you need a Google My Business page. That's a non-negotiable. Interestingly enough, posts on Google My Business are also SEO optimized and can rank organically. Another great opportunity to take up more organic space from your competition. Instagram, obviously highly used, Instagram stories. Snapchat is incredibly popular with the younger generations. LinkedIn is used by millions of B2B consumers and business owners. Another great place to be. Define where you need to be. Define where your customers are. A little bit of research goes a long way. And then set up your profiles. It's free to set these up. It's free to set up social media profiles. Now, the investment comes in two ways. The investment comes with time. You have to invest time into this. You're creating content, generating content, posting, taking pictures, sending videos, things like that. Instagram stories or Snapchat snaps or anything like that. There is a time investment. Now, additionally, there can be a monetary investment as well. Generally speaking, you're not always going to be found organically all of the time. This, again, can be the billboard and the desert scenario that we ran into. The great news is it's very easy to boost posts on Facebook, to boost on, to post on Instagram, things like that. And that's another thing that you should definitely look into. Now, is that your first step? Probably not. Your first step is actually starting to build some content. You have to have some content before you try to build a community. A good social media manager or someone who's running their own social media management considers content and community curation as the major part of their job. You have to create content. In order to create community, you have to have a community in order for people to want to review your content, and both of those work together. The other thing I always like to tell people with social media is that immediately a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs are looking for ROI. Of course, you're looking for that return on investment. With social media, that's thinking about it a little bit backwards. Social media is introducing people to your business and to you, the person behind the curtain, giving them a sneak peek into the business and into the strategies and the services that you provide, and kind of humanizing the company, as it were. What you need to be looking for with social media is ROE, return on engagement. Are people engaging with you? Are people engaging with your business? That's what you're looking for. The return on investment will come. The return comes later. Right now, you're looking for that return on engagement. Once you start receiving that engagement, you start to see that a lot of your consumers or your customers are actually being your brand advocates. They're being your brand ambassadors. People are asking for recommendations. They're asking for advice on certain products or services. And your customers are tagging you. They're linking to your Facebook page. They're recommending you on the Facebook recommendations, things like that. That's where the ROI comes in. But you have to invest in the engagement first. That's highly, highly valuable and very important to think about. Social profiles are free. Don't skip them. Let's move to the next slide. All right. Now we're going to talk about how you stay ahead of the competition. Now, everything that I've talked about up until this point, it shouldn't really be mind-blowing to a lot of people. If 70% of U.S. businesses have a website, then we've got 30% that need to catch up and get on the ball. Built our website. We've invested in SEO and pay-per-click. We've invested in retargeting. Got a great reputation online. We've got some good video content and some social profiles. So you see how this is all kind of coming full circle. We've got a full multi-channel marketing campaign that's driving people through to your website. You're generating leads or making sales. Now what do you do? What do you do to stay ahead of the competition? Because honestly, they can do this. They can do all this as well, right? They can set up social profiles, build a website that's better, than what they've currently got. They can invest in SEO and advertising. So how do you stay ahead of the game? One thing that I always recommend is utilizing a CRM. Now, there's a million CRMs that you can choose from. I recommend the one that we built. We built it specifically for small businesses, and we're giving it to you for free. No catch, no hangups, no credit card. Just go to signup.mymarketing360.com/register. Sign up for the free CRM. It's free for life. There's no limitations. Don't worry about it. But it's very, very valuable for you as you're growing your business. Now, if you are an established business and you have an established online presence, you already have your customers. Maybe you already are using a CRM, or you've got everybody on a legal notepad, or maybe everyone's just up here, right? You're at a little bit of a disadvantage. It does take some more time and a little bit more of a learning curve to integrate all of that into a CRM. But it's better to do it today than tomorrow, because if you wait till tomorrow, you'll just never do it, right? We all know that. Everybody's fallen into that trap of, tomorrow I'll get to it. Tomorrow I'll get to it. Tomorrow's too late. Your competitors are already moving forward. In 2016, it was just shy of 50% of small businesses did not have a website or a digital presence. 2017, that's down to 30%. We had a 20% jump in 1 year. People are moving forward. Business is getting more complicated. And this is the frontier, the cutting edge of marketing and of automation and of business growth. Everything we've talked about up until this point is about building that foundation. This is about automating your processes and getting better. And all you need to do is get 1% better every month, 1% better every year, and you will outstrip your competition every time. This is a great way to do it, signing up with a CRM. Why do you need it? You can create great sales processes. It's one thing if someone calls in, talks with a person on the phone, that frontline rep then gives it to a salesperson, sales guy's at lunch, maybe she's homesick, doesn't get to it to the next day. Guess what? That lead already moved on. They're done with you. You didn't call them back. You didn't give them the details that they wanted, so they just moved on. Put them into a CRM. The first person available gets the information. They're able to move forward. You can track the lifetime value from all of your marketing channels. Ensure that if you're spending money in different channels like SEO, PPC, retargeting, Facebook ads, Instagram posts, things like that, that you're actually getting value from those. Marketing is really all about doing more of what works and less of what doesn't, but it's not very visible all of the time. This helps bring a little bit of visibility to that so you can make better decisions. You get to spend more time with customers and less time on follow-up. Now, for a small business owner, this is very, very important. Really, you're the name and the face of your brand. And you are probably, for a lot of small businesses, especially if you're bootstrapping or just kind of getting started, you're the best salesperson in your company. You don't need to be spending time following up, tracking where everything's going, spending the time on the reporting, making sure this person's doing their job and that person's calling these people. No, let the system, let a CRM do that for you, and you get more face time with your customers and make more sales. That's where a lot of this value comes in. And you're able to increase your sales by improving these inefficiencies. You don't want to use this as a micromanagement tool for your sales team if you have one. That's not valuable. But you can use it as an educational and a teaching tool, a training opportunity, to reach back out sooner, to set up communication with this person, to track the conversations that you've had previously, to ensure that if the customer gets bounced to another person, that their information and their details are taken along with them, so that the lifetime value of the customer can just continue to grow. There's a lot of value in a CRM. It can get very complex, and we try to make it as easy as possible. We do have a couple of videos on tips on how to use a CRM, which we'll link to after this webinar is over. And we'll also put a link in the description here so you can go and sign up for the CRM. Again, it's free. I highly recommend you utilize it. Now, let's move on to our next slide. Now, I like to put this in here because for a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs, it's very difficult to move from just being a small business, maybe a one-person show, to a two-man show, or 4 or 5, or any type of growth like that. Sometimes it's very difficult to go from having 5 customers to 500 customers, right? Everybody needs something a little bit different. Everybody needs a different interaction. So this is what we use internally. This was inspired by the 5 levels of leadership from John Maxwell, and we've adapted these ever so slightly at Marketing 360. First one is that you have a position, right? Now, in this scenario, you have a business. You have a service that people want or a product that people want. That's level 1. That's the bare minimum, right? So they interact with you or they follow you because you have a position, a business. Now, you want to move all the way up to level 5, right? Which what we refer to as execution excellence. Let's talk about going from level 1 to level 2. Level 2 is that you build relationships. Now, this is just, people buy from you. They shop with you because they like you. You have the service and product that they wanted, and they liked their interaction with you. That was good, right? Now it's level 2. Let's move on to level 3. Now, level 3 could be maybe you're a landscaper, right? You came out and you offered the service that they wanted. They enjoyed their interaction with you. That's good. The driving results means that you actually accomplished what they were looking for. You accomplished the goal that they wanted. You offered 2-day shipping or next day shipping on your website. They get it in 2 days or 1 day. You've driven the result that they wanted. So now we can start talking about level 3. Now you can see here what we're doing. This is kind of the inverse of the sales funnel. Where the sales funnel, they start just kind of researching you and they go all the way down to a customer. You are going the opposite direction. You are starting with just having the business or service, and you are trying to grow your way to having a customer for life. So you've got a service that they want. They enjoyed working with you. You gave them the results that they were looking for. The next step is exceeding expectations. Now, this is where you go really above and beyond what your competition does. There's nothing that irritates me more than when you talk to a business, you're like, well, what makes you different? What makes you different than, Joe Bob down the street? Well, we have great customer service. Do you though? Because if you have to say that that's the only thing that differentiates you, I'm willing to bet that you probably don't. That can't be the only thing that differentiates you. And if you say that, then you have to follow through. You have to really show that you can exceed my expectations or exceed your customers' expectations as to the kind of service that they can expect from you. Everybody expects that when they purchase a service or a product, that they will receive that product or the results of the service that they wanted without a whole lot of hassle, or without needing to go back and forth or send the product back because it was damaged or everything like that. Everyone expects that. So you have to go above and beyond what that expectation is. Now that will look different for all of your businesses and all of your customers. Some customers, you exceed their expectations by being on time and finishing the project quickly. For them, time is a big concern. For other customers, you exceed their expectations by communicating just to an incredible level with them. Over communicating, and in that way they feel like they can trust you, and they made a good decision. They feel good about themselves. Other customers, you're able to blow them out of the water by including a cool additional product or just a gift in whatever product that they purchase from you. Something that exceeds their expectations. Everyone has different ones, but all the bare minimums are kind of the same. Service, they liked working with you. You gave them what they wanted. Now we have to exceed their expectations. And finally, you embody execution excellence. They feel comfortable recommending all of their friends and family to you because they know your business, they know your product, they know your service. You've blown them out of the water. You ever made a mistake, you made it right so quickly, they didn't even have to think about it. You went to them first. Boy, it's not even a no-brainer. I would never work with someone else. I would only ever work with this person because they embody that 5th level of leadership, which we refer to as execution excellence. I wanted to include that in this conversation because you can spend a lot of money driving people to your website and growing your business, and you can lose these customers time and time again because you're unable to work them through this pyramid. You already brought them through the sales funnel. Now you have to bring yourself up through the pyramid so that they get the exact results and they get the execution excellence that they should receive as a customer. So keep this in mind. You can drive leads all day, but if you can't keep them, that's a lot of risk for you, and it's very expensive. On average, it costs 5 times more to generate a new customer than it does to keep an old one. By embodying the 5 levels of leadership and growing your business to execution excellence, you can help to keep these customers longer and save a lot of money. All right, let's move on to our next slide. We do have a lot of other videos that you can check out. We've got different tips. We've got webinars, all sorts of things like that. These are a couple of my favorites. How to increase sales with a pre-flight checklist. We've got 15 tips on that. 6 tips on how to turn leads into sales. And then a video that we just did recently, which is launching a successful marketing campaign in 7 steps. So they're all short videos, all great for you to watch, and hopefully they provide some value. Finally, I hope you followed along on this presentation at m360.us 8CB6 if you want to look at this afterwards. We've got additional resources at youtube.com/marketing360. And if you want to learn a little bit more and start to build your own marketing plan, you can do so at marketing360.com/start. I hope you found some value here. If you've got questions, please leave them in the comments below. Like and share the video. If you've got ideas of other content you'd like us to do or anything else you'd like us to cover, please let us know. We do these webinars every week, Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we love to connect with you, to work with you, and to provide some value through these videos. Thanks again so much for watching, and happy marketing.